Hello and welcome to Transfermarkt TV. I'm Manu Fed, he's Stefan Bienkowski, and Stefan, we just finished up the Bundesliga market value update. What's the news?
Yeah, so, as most Bundesliga fans would probably expect, it was good news for Dortmund, who are doing remarkably well this season. Some bad news for Bayern on the whole. Their squad value has gone down slightly, but they've had a few notable increases. But of course, anyone who's clicked on this video will already know, having looked at the thumbnail, that Jude Bellingham has once again seen his market value rise. He's now moved up to 120 million euros, which puts him level with Vinicius Jr. at Real Madrid as the third most valuable player in the world. The only two players ahead of him are Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. So he's in fantastic, wonderful company there. He's now the most valuable player in the Bundesliga. And, I think at this moment in time, that probably makes a lot of sense. You're talking about a player here who, if I'm not mistaken, he's got 10 goals and 6 assists so far this season, which is remarkable for a box-to-box player. And he really has been the kind of heart of that Dortmund team as they've miraculously bounced back from a kind of struggling start to really mounting this surprising title challenge. Of course, the big game this weekend against Bayern Munich in Der Klassiker, which may go some way to deciding where the title goes. And he's just been a kind of crucial part of that. And there's all sorts of speculation over his future, but for now, he's a tremendous Dortmund player. He's a Dortmund player who's helping them to their first league title in over 10 seasons.
No, you mentioned the speculations. Of course, this would have probably been the biggest news in Germany wouldn't have been for Bayern Munich sacking the head coach. Jude Bellingham being offered a new Borussia Dortmund contract worth in the region of 50 million euros a year. It's been rumored. It should also have an exit clause of 150 million euros. Have to stress, of course, this is not done. This is something that Dortmund will offer, but this is, of course, something that also plays a big role in the recent Bellingham market value update, right, Stefan?
Yeah, of course. It's not so much about contract lengths or contract salary amounts. It's really comes down to how much these players are worth on the open market. And we actually did a video back in January when Enzo Fernandez joined Chelsea, and we discussed how much he was worth and how, I think if I'm not mistaken, we kind of titled the video as Chelsea have broke the transfer market, and the way that we worded it. And the reason we said that was because, if you looked 6 months down the line to the summer transfer window, which we are quickly approaching, it now means that Dortmund were able to kind of push up their asking price for Bellingham by simply saying, well, Chelsea have played that amount for Enzo Fernandez, or will eventually pay that amount for Enzo Fernandez once all the clauses and agreements are signed. So here's what you want for Jude Bellingham. And, I think it's a fair point. Unlike Enzo Fernandez, he already is playing in one of the top leagues. He has shone in the Champions League, and I think you could arguably make a pretty strong case that he's doing just about everything more than Enzo Fernandez, except for obviously what Fernandez achieved with Argentina and the World Cup at the international stage. So 150 million euros seems to be the golden number that Dortmund will be asking for, and our market value of 120 million euros for him at this moment in time seems to kind of fall in line with that.
Yeah, and slowly edging up to that asking price that Dortmund is going to command. And I think we also need to add that even if Borussia Dortmund opt to sell the player this summer, a recent report has suggested it will be upwards of 140 million euros. Their preference, even today, is for Bellingham to stay another season. That is with or without a new contract. But Stefan, I think that concludes our little Bellingham video here. Check out all our other Transfermarkt videos. Give it a rating. Let us know, what do you think? Is our market value too high, too low? Give us your feedback. We're really curious to hear from you.